Hello, hello, Joseph here. You ready for the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And are you sure? Here we go. I'm gonna do this again because my phone just turned off because of the alert response. My partner and deceased spouse, Mike, passed away a few years ago, and we were together for over 2 decades. I've talked about this before. I'm talking about it again for a particular and specific reason. There's something going on here where I'm currently staying, where I'm surrounded by a group of those that I used to associate with, but I no longer do because of how I was treated by a large majority of individuals within this community. So I am enjoying dinner in my room. I'm not even going down to the bar, restaurant. I am keeping to myself even more so now, and it's not because I'm triggered. It is because I understand and I know what it feels like to be around individuals that really do not give a fuck about you. Even if you are a good person, even if you are a loving person, a respectful person, a kind-hearted person, I have been treated like shit by a lot of individuals within this particular community, and this is coming from over a decade ago. And ever since then, especially since coming to be authentically honest and truthfully about who I am and living that fully. It actually turned up after I did so within the same community that I once associated with. So, I was with Mike for over 2 decades, and the way that we got together was very interesting. I'm not going to get into that, but I know that God allowed us to be together and or meet for a reason. I was in his life to be of support and help to him. His life was extended for another 20 years because we were together, and I was there for him, as well as him being there for me. He taught me quite a few things, some knowingly and other things unknowingly. I picked up on things. I realized and came to understand some things from being around him and seeing how he moved, how he talked, and how he handled certain situations. So, he was a teacher, in a lot of ways a father figure for me. I saw and did a lot of things. He allowed certain things to happen, which he believed was for the betterment of the both of us in the position and the situation that we were in. And at that time, I was not aware of it, but years later, I came to understand exactly what he had done and or what he had agreed to do. But God allowed us to be together because he needed someone to be there for him in his final years. God also wanted to show Mike that even though he had experienced a lot of traumatic things in past relationships, family relationships and dynamics, as well as in business and things not going the way that he wanted or expected them to go, that God was still in control. And he sent me to be a loving, caring partner for him, which I was all the way up until his last dying breath. And even thereafter, because I grieved for a few years and gained a few pounds too, but that's okay. That's alright. The whole point of this is this world that we live in, being homosexual, being a lesbian, or even being transgender, you may not have your family, your biological family, on your side or on your team. But then also, the community that was once for each other and supported each other and took care of each other, that is not necessarily still around today as it was back in the 80s and early 90s when the community was dealing with a lot of issues pertaining to HIV and AIDS. Those days are gone. As far as the concern and the fear and being scared and worried about your friends, your lovers, your neighbors dying from a disease where there was no cure. And a lot of people that were in the hospitals did not have family coming to visit them. No, it was their friends and loved ones in the community that were coming to visit them and be by their bedside as they were passing away. And now, today, what do we have? What has come from the late 80s, early 90s AIDS epidemic? What are we doing now? And I say we. I'm not necessarily a part of it. I'm asking what has happened? Where are we at today in the LGBTQIA community in regard to not only being there for the elders, those that were once young and partying in the clubs and drinking and so on and so forth and engaging, in sex and having fun? Where are they at now? How are they living now? Do they really have a community that's looking out for them? Huh? No. Let me explain to you how it usually goes. If an older, and we're just going to deal with homosexuals, if an older gay man actually had a really good career and they were able to save money and invest and able to have a nice retirement fund, not just talking about Social Security, but they have a nice retirement fund, they have a nice home, drive a nice vehicle, can take care of themselves, live well, they may be able to find someone that is young, that is willing to be in a relationship with them for money. This young individual that is in a relationship with them because of money and what they can gain from this older individual, they know and or understand the rules of the game. You take care of him, he'll take care of you. But if you're no longer able to take care of him, he's no longer going to take care of you. It's an exchange, a mutually beneficial exchange that does include, yes, pleasure, but also includes some security and safety in their old age. How many people are able to do that? Not many, probably. Let's get to the next scenario. 2 individuals, homosexuals, decide to get into a relationship at a fairly younger age. They work together to secure a house, take care of the bills and finances, purchase their house, so on and so forth, maybe even start a business, possibly, save money, invest, so on and so forth, and they live together until each one of them passes away. Of course, I'm just going to add this in there, they may not be monogamous, but they have the security of knowing that they're in a marriage and or a partnership with each other, and that they have basically done the necessary things to take care of the homestead and grow financially to where they can take care of each other in retirement, and when one passes on, the other one gets everything left in the will, and they move on and they live their life out fully, right? How many people are like that? Then you have those that did not get married, did not get partnered, did not find someone that wanted to be with them, right? And so they had their fun, they partied, they did their thing, and maybe they didn't party, maybe they didn't have their fun, maybe they were responsible, maybe they had a career, maybe they did fairly well. They were able to save some money and do the necessary, so on and so forth. But a lot of those individuals do not necessarily find someone that wants to spend the rest of their lives with them. So what usually happens? Well, they get to an age where they get lonely, they possibly want to go out and find somebody, have some fun, play the field, so on and so forth. And unfortunately, they might end up getting infected, HIV, AIDS, whatever, from playing around with many different individuals, and or maybe even just a few individuals. They just came across the wrong individual, possibly. Then they have to deal with health issues, debilitating health, and so on and so forth. other things suffer. Maybe they don't find a relationship or a partnership and they might end up dying by themselves. I could keep going. Different scenarios when it comes to the homosexual community, but let me tell you this. I know that Mike saw me as a blessing. I know that Mike would not have lived as long as he did had I not been in his life. I also know that Mike wanted something and or a relationship where he could feel safe and comfortable in knowing and trusting that his partner is not going to leave him or desert him for another person or a fuck or a hookup or whatever, or just using him for money because he didn't have it. He did the best that he could with what he had. I appreciate that. Not everybody has it the same as he did. I understand that. Not everybody is deserving of a relationship and or a partnership. He did not believe that he was because of his past. I'm only speaking on this because this is all coming to a head right now because of the environment that I'm currently in, the people that I'm surrounded by, individuals and or a community that I thought I was going to be a part of for the rest of my life. But I found out early on that a lot of the individuals within this community are not always on the up and up. The same shit I had to deal with in the heterosexual world, in the church community, in the school peer community, I had to deal with even more so worse in the LGBTQIA community. And that's not me throwing shade or any hate. That's me speaking truth and facts about my experience. I'm gonna leave it at that. Gotta go. Bye.